out a spell. Take your shoes off. Y'all come back now. Here.
Felix and Oscar get dressed for a masquerade, but instead of going to a party, end up trapped in the basement. On The Odd Couple, tonight at 11 on Channel 48.
Tell me, Mike, were you able to get any sleep?
Not much. It was a long night.
Yeah, I thought it would be.
Derek, where can she be? I've run out of every option except the worst one.
Mike, we're doing everything we possibly can on this end. And the police in San Francisco, they're giving their full cooperation.
What about Calvin? Will he be involved?
I've told him to give this an equal priority with the Gideon case.
Did Calvin tell you about the stewardess?
Yeah. Yes, now at least we know she was on the plane. It was an accurate description, wasn't it?
Oh, yes, it had to be Nancy. She described it perfectly. Even to the antique bracelet I gave Nancy for Christmas. It was one of a kind.
All right, so that's something.
But what? All it means is that somewhere between the airport and the hotel, my wife vanished.
Now, Mike, we can't discount the possibility of a traffic accident. So the police have to carefully check every hospital.
Yeah, I realize that's standard procedure.
Mike, why don't you tell me where you're going to be through the day so that I can get in touch with you at any given time?
Well, I don't think I'd accomplish much at the office today, and sitting around here waiting for the phone to ring is driving me up a wall. Would it be an imposition if I came over to headquarters and waited there?
No, not at all. Come anytime you like. I'll be expecting you.
Thanks. I'll see you later.
Bye-bye. All right. Where's my missing woman? Come on, Raven, where are you?
The Edge of Night is brought to you by Ivory Liquid. Penny for penny, it washes more dishes than an average bargain brand. And by Bold 3 Detergent Plus Fabric Softener. Clean softens, control static, Bold 3.
You gotta find it, Grandma.
I did. Mommy's favorite birthday dress.
Perfect for you. It's dirty.
Needs a good old-fashioned cleaning.
Feels rough, too.
We'll use Bold 3. Detergent plus fabric softener, all in one.
How can a detergent with a newfangled fabric softener give an old-fashioned clean and soften, too?
Bold 3 can. Watch.
We took the softening and static control of a full-strength fabric softener and concentrated it into a powder. Then we combined it with Bold 3's powerful powder detergent.
Now, I call that an old-fashioned clean.
So soft, too.
Such softness from a box of detergent.
Look, no static clean here.
Bold 3 for an old-fashioned clean and a newfangled fabric softener in one.
I see you took a bargain dishwashing liquid. If I gave you the money, which would you buy?
I'd have to say Ivory.
Why Ivory Liquid?
It's really gentle and mild to my hand.
Why do you buy this?
That's the bargain. That's cheaper than Ivory.
What if I told you that Ivory Liquid is really the better buy?
I'd have to see it to believe it.
Let's test your brand against Ivory Liquid with a penny's worth of each. Let's wash some dishes. How are your suds?
I don't have any suds now.
How about the Ivory Liquid?
I still have a tub full.
Let's scoop some up and compare. Okay, what happened?
I did a lot more dishes. What I thought was a bargain isn't really a bargain at all.
What's
Ivory is the bargain. It's gentle to my hands, and I can save money. Right, honey?
You don't have to give up mild Ivory Liquid to save money.
Gavin, I think if the dancers are not coming before 11, I will be there at 10, okay?
Can't stand to be away from me for that extra hour, is that it?
We must talk.
I don't suppose we'll be figuring out a date for when the two of us will run away together.
It's business.
Figures.
Listen, I think I have an idea how we might be able to simplify the audition process. But it only makes sense to talk about it before we begin for the day, right?
Okay. How many cups of coffee should I send out for?
One is sufficient. Thank you.
One for you, one for me, and one for Sky.
Don't bother with the third cup.
Oh, is Sky swearing off caffeine?
Well, I think that Sky won't be joining us, at least not until later on today.
You mean the world's richest watchdog is off duty today?
Sky is out of town on business. See you, okay?
Help yourself.
What time is it?
Oh, about 8:30.
So early? I thought tycoon types like you weren't supposed to get up until noon.
Well, many of them don't. That's why I like to get an early start on things to beat my competition to the punch.
Do unto others before others do unto you.
Something like that.
You know, a girl could get used to living like this.
I am your humble servant. Your wish is my command.
Well, my wish may not get you out of here until well after noon.
Well, let me just make it official here. Good morning. You look as lovely now as you did last night.
You liar.
Did you enjoy the evening?
Yes, I did. Immensely.
Well, I'm glad. I wanted our first little get-together to be something special.
Well, it was. We're just gonna have to do this more often.
Well, those are my sentiments precisely.
Except I know you're such a busy man, and you do have a commitment.
Well, sometimes my commitment has commitments. Martina's got very little free time right now, and she's going to have even less once we begin auditions and rehearsals, and practically none once we open.
I see. So I am the side dish.
I do want to see you again, Raven.
Well, I don't know if I want to see you again.
Isn't it a little late to play hard to get?
It's just that I don't like the idea of being in someone's harem, especially not when I'm in the second spot.
Well, that's hardly the case.
And another thing is, I'm not accustomed to sharing my men.
Human beings are very adaptable creatures, Raven. You'll get used to it.
And if I don't?
Well, that's your prerogative.
I see. So, I can take it or leave it, huh?
You'll have to excuse me now, Raven. It's time for me to put my nose to the grindstone and perhaps earn another $1 million. Perhaps 2, even, if I put in a little overtime. Gunther will drive you home.
Excuse me, is this where the dancers hang out?
Oh, look who is here. Hi, Jody.
Hello.
How you doing, Kelly?
Oh, it's been such a long time, I didn't think I was going to recognize this place.
Well, I was going to put down a parquet floor and put up some velvet drapes, but I figured I'd wait till you came back so you'd still feel like this was your second home.
Oh, I appreciate the thought. Seriously, it's wonderful to be back.
You here to audition, McGrath?
No, I left my tutu at home. Maybe tomorrow.
Aren't we in a wonderful mood?
Kelly has some things on his mind.
I figured everything would be all right with you right now.
Well, it should be, but my aunt took off on a business trip to San Francisco yesterday. Nobody's heard from her since.
What happened to her?
That's what we'd like to know.
I hope she's all right.
So do I.
Well, Kelly's going to join me for this momentous occasion, aren't you, sweetheart?
Yeah, it's Jody's first trip out of the house since her operation.
And Mr. Overprotective thinks I'm going to hurt my leg or something.
What's the matter? You don't think I'm going to take care of Jody? Or is it just that you can't bear to be away from this pretty lady? Maybe a little bit of both. How's the hip coming along?
Oh, terrific. Well, semi-terrific. I feel a little stronger.
Well, good. Now, do you think that a dance studio is where you're supposed to be right now?
How can you ask me such a question?
Well, I don't want you to get itchy feet and do something that you shouldn't do.
Gavin, I'm here to work out.
Oh, no, wait a minute.
No, I know. I'm talking to Mr. Overprotective number 2, but I'll be careful.
Does the doctor know about this?
The doctor suggested it.
And Jody's doctor told her that her muscles would weaken if she didn't start working out.
What I need is a little mild exercise, bending, stretching.
And as soon as her doctor told her that, it took her about a second to figure out where she wanted to work out.
Well, in that case, there's the bar over there, and knock yourself out within reason, of course.
Thanks, Gavin.
Anything for a member of the Whitney Dance Company.
Is it all right if I stay and watch?
Sure, grab yourself a chair and set up your peanut gallery in the corner, okay?
Wait a minute. You're not going to give me a hard time about this?
I must be in a really good mood. I know it's a little strange, but I'm really happy to see you, Cal.
Oh, now, who says miracles don't happen?
Well, now I don't have to give Jody Sundays off to visit you in jail.
Would you really have done that for me?
You know, I never really believed that you were the one that caused all that trouble. I know it's a little bit belated, but congratulations on the murder indictment being dropped.
Thank you, Gavin.
Chocolate. Rich, mouth-watering Hershey's chocolate. That's what made Hershey America's chocolate company for 75 years. And that's the chocolate you get every time you bake a batch of cookies with Hershey's chocolate chips. Every chip is pure Hershey's through and through. And that makes every chocolate chip cookie a pure pleasure. Hershey's chocolate chips. They're real chips off the old block.
Based on my belief that time is money, I've discovered it takes me exactly 12 minutes to consume and thoroughly enjoy my Oscar Mayer Cotto salami on rye. Oh, something's wrong. This looks like Oscar Mayer cooked ham. The point is, lunch should only take a certain amount of time. And then again, it might be time for a change.
Ever wonder what Oscar Mayer has in store for you?
I appreciate your letting me wait here for word, Derek.
Oh, Mike, anything I can do to make this easier on you.
Well, I just feel so useless.
Mike, there is something you can do. Tell me everything you know about Nancy's trip to San Francisco. There might be some little forgotten detail that can help us figure this thing out.
Derek, I've gone over all the facts a dozen times in my mind and come up with nothing.
Now, come on, Mike. Maybe a more objective ear can discern something.
All right. The idea for the trip originated with Nancy's city editor, Mark Greenfield. When Ira Gideon was positively identified as being in San Francisco, he thought they should have a reporter on the scene. Now, Nancy has covered the story since it broke, so she was the logical choice for the assignment.
Yeah, that's why I sent Calvin out there. He's been on this case since the beginning.
Well, if Calvin and Nancy had only been on the same plane, Derek, do you think Nancy's disappearance could be related in any way to the Gideon case?
Nancy ever meet Gideon?
Not to the best of my knowledge. But her byline appeared in every article.
Well, I read all the articles Nancy wrote about Gideon. They were pretty straightforward reporting. I don't think there'd be anything there he'd find threatening.
Yeah, I was just speculating. Or grasping at straws, it really comes down to.
Yeah, well, we've got such little to work with. I'm not discounting anything. But I think what you're theorizing is unlikely. Yes, Helen? Oh, what's happening out there, Calvin?
Well, Chief, the boys in blue out here have promised us their full cooperation in locating Nancy Carr. I thought you might like to know this.
Yes, I'll have to call their chief of police and thank him personally.
Yeah, he's put 4 of their detectives at my disposal, and we started our search bright and early this morning.
Have you come up with anything so far?
Well, Chief, I scoured literally the entire airport out here, and I can't come up with a solitary soul who recalls seeing anyone who even looks like Nancy.
Well, people who work in places like that see thousands of faces every day. I don't suppose we could expect them to remember just one.
Yeah, well, let's see what else I got. We Checked all the hospitals in the Bay Area, and no one fitting Nancy's description has been admitted either as an accident victim or voluntarily.
I see.
And the police blotter out here has no one even remotely fitting Nancy's description who's recorded as an accident victim.
Yeah. I suppose that's something. But as long as she's not been involved in an unreported accident.
Yeah, well, I don't understand it, Chief. I mean, I just have not been able to pick up any kind of a trail, not even one that's grown cold. It's like staring at a blank wall.
Stay with it, Calvin, and keep on top of the Gideon case.
Yeah, don't worry. I remember exactly why I'm here.
See if you can give me a progress report this afternoon. I'll talk to you then.
Any leads?
There's nothing, Mike. I'm sorry.
Start out his day in a special way. Be there at 3 on the dot. Put in new ribbons when you braid her hair. Little things mean a lot.
The little things I do for my family really do mean a lot. So I care about everything that touches our lives, like white cloud.
White cloud?
Uh-huh. I can't buy a softer bathroom tissue.
So?
Well, white cloud's more than soft. It's made of 2 full, fluffy plies. And you know 2 are more than
1.
And watch this. See?
Wow.
White cloud's the most absorbent. Softness, fullness, and absorbency. They're all little things that add up to white cloud quality for this family.
Mom. White cloud, because little things mean a lot.
Hey, your folks got a new set of wheels.
Come on! We brought you something.
Puritan oil?
Puritan's part of our diet to fight cholesterol.
And it makes food taste great.
I use corn oil. Puritan has more polyunsaturates than corn oil. It also looks lighter. Tastes lighter.
Delicious. You young folks really know what's cooking.
Puritan, a delicious part of your diet to fight cholesterol.
Oh,
How's it feel?
it's stiff.
Well, it's to be expected, I guess.
Oh, well, I might be rusty, but it feels good to be working again.
Well, Gavin, there was so much traffic that... I don't believe it. Jody, what are you doing here?
Getting ready to make my debut.
Yeah, her doctor told her she could start light workouts.
Well, you've made a speedier recovery than expected. That's wonderful.
Next stop, the Whitney Theater.
Yes, you're right in time. We are winding up auditions right now and beginning rehearsals in about 2 weeks. Do you think you would be ready to join us?
Oh, well, sure. If today is any kind of an indication, I should be able to.
Oh, wait a minute. Don't you overdo on your first day.
Oh, no. I feel wonderful. The soreness is almost gone.
But you're probably going to be pretty sore tonight.
No, I'll be fine, really.
I hope your sister is bouncing back as quickly. How is she doing?
I wish I could tell you.
Sounds like you're trying to spare me from bad news.
No, it's nothing like that. It's just that we're waiting to see if Nicole's body projects the bone marrow or not.
Obviously, it's a tense time.
Yes, it is. And we're not going to know for another couple of weeks if it worked out.
Don't worry. I'm sure your sister will be right there in your opening night.
I hope you're right.
Yes. Well, you will excuse me, but I have a lot of things to do before we start auditioning again. You can stay and watch if you like. Oh, I would like to talk to you.
Okay, back to work.
Yep, back to work.
Take it easy.
I know, it hurts. Okay.
Be careful. Hey, what's going on here?
What is it? What's the matter?
Just what do you think you're doing?
Exercising?
You've been away longer than I thought. You're doing everything wrong.
No, I'm not.
But I know what I'm talking about, believe me. Hey, come on, ease off, Gavin. Exercising is like dancing. There's a right way to do things, and there's a wrong way. So look at yourself in the mirror. Every move that you're making is favoring the hip that you had the operation on.
Gavin, what do you expect? My leg isn't even up to its full strength yet.
I knew I should have kept a closer eye on you.
Hey, listen, what are you coming down on Jody so hard for? She just got out of the hospital.
And if she keeps stretching that way, she's going to find herself back at Monticello General, this time in traction.
But why are you hassling her? Does it cost you something to be polite?
I invited you to watch. I didn't ask you to take over.
Look, Kelly, what Gavin says makes a lot of sense.
You know everything there is to know, is that it?
Look, you stay out of this. And if you can't, Leave.
What is it with you two? Would you just cut it out?
I'm sorry, Jody, but from now on, it's a closed set. Jody, they used to call him a slave driver. Now they call him a prima donna.
I said stop it. You know, I can't figure either one of you out. Just a little while ago, you were shaking hands. Do you remember?
All right. We got a little hot. We're just both looking out for your best benefits, Jody.
Well, thank you. But I don't need a couple of hotheads to take care of me.
All right. I'm sorry if you are.
443 Harrison Avenue, is that correct?
Yes, that's it. And thank you for letting me sit in the front seat with you.
Hey, my pleasure, my pleasure. You want to hear some music?
No. It was very nice of you to take me home.
That was Mr. Whitney's compliments, ma'am.
Well, Mr. Whitney was very generous, wasn't he?
Yes, ma'am.
He must be a very nice man to work for.
We get along, we get along.
He's also told me that he's very fond of you.
Well, that's very nice to hear, ma'am. Thank you.
How long have you worked for him?
About a year and a half, give or take a month or two.
And when did you first get together?
Well, I was working for a rather influential businessman in Europe, and Mr. Whitney had some dealings with him. That's how we met.
And what did you do for this influential businessman?
Oh, might say I was in the personal protection line.
You were a bodyguard?
Well, that would be a more accurate description.
That must be a very dangerous business.
Well, you know, there were a couple of attempts by some political radicals to abduct the gentleman I was working for.
Oh, my goodness.
And I thwarted those assaults, and not one person got hurt.
Sounds like you are a hero.
Nah. Just doing my job.
Well, I'm sure it's no fun to wake up in the morning and go to work and be afraid that you're going to have your kneecap shot off.
No. That's not why I quit. See, I didn't like my employer, and Mr. Whitney made me a very generous offer.
I'm sure he did. And I can imagine that someone in Mr. Whitney's profession would need protection, so I assume that you are his bodyguard, too?
Well, I assist Mr. Whitney in any way I can.
Yes, like chauffeuring his lady friends around.
No, ma'am.
You can admit it. I know all about Martine Duval, and I know that they're living together. Tell me something, Gunther. What do you know about this Martine?
Well, I hear she's a very talented dancer.
Do you like her?
It doesn't really matter whether I like her.
Sounds like you don't like her.
Artists, they're temperamental.
So, do you think this relationship they have is going to be permanent?
I really couldn't say, ma'am. But I doubt it.
Oh, you do you?
Well, you know, Mr. Whitney strikes me as a very changeable person.
Oh, so you think he'll get tired of her?
Mr. Whitney appreciates loyalty, ma'am.
Oh, really? And you don't think Miss Duval is going to be loyal? Tell me more.
I think I've said enough, ma'am.
Gunther, mum's the word. I wouldn't mention a word of what we've been talking about.
Thank you, ma'am.
Well, this has been a most enjoyable little chat.
I'm very glad, ma'am.
And I also find you a very interesting man.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, Gunther, I think that you and I are going to be great friends.
Hello, I'm Orville Redenbacher. What does this budget-minded family recommend for a delicious economical snack? Chips? Pretzels?
No, Orville's gourmet popping corn.
Right. My corn pop's bigger and fluffier than regular popcorns, with hardly any unpopped kernels.
It's delicious.
And you can pop all of this for about the same price as these 2 bags of chips. That fits our budget. Serve my gourmet popping corn. It's the best, or I'm not smart. No, Orville Redenbacher.
Fresh. Clean. The fresh, clean flavor of Wrigley Spearmint Gum lasts a long, long, long time.
Linda Carter meets the Invincible Man, and they join forces to fight for law and order on Wonder Woman tonight at 6. Then later, Lamont may be in for a fight when he tries to change Fred's attitude toward other minorities on Sanford and Son tonight at 7 on Channel 48.
Are you sure that's what you want to do, Mike?
I know it's a bit unorthodox to ask for a leave of absence the day after you start a new job, but I'm afraid that's what I'll have to do.
Well, considering the circumstances, I don't think the mayor will give you any hassle, but...
Well, I haven't been involved in any of the pending cases, so I don't think the delay in my taking over would upset the apple cart too much.
Don't think you should just maybe throw yourself head on into that work, get your mind off things?
Derek, I can't stay in Monticello knowing that Nancy's out on the West Coast somewhere.
What do you think you can accomplish out there?
I really don't know, but I've just got to be there with Nancy.
Of course I understand, Mike. Mallory.
Chief, it's Calvin.
It's Calvin, Mike. What's happening out there?
Well, look, Chief, all of a sudden there's an awful lot of activity going on out here.
Why? What's happening?
Well, I don't have any details, but I was just told that a radio called in a report that a little while ago they discovered some new clues pertaining to our case.
What kind of clues?
Well, an order's been given and preparations are being made, Chief. They are getting ready to drag San Francisco Bay for a body.
We've got things you can be sure of, like a holiday parade. Roosters crowing, children growing, and the taste of Minute Maid.
You're sure of homemade pies, lullabies, picnics under sunny skies, and the taste of Minute Maid.
The great taste of 100% pure Minute Maid orange juice is never going to change, and that you can be sure of.
Make sure of the taste. Make sure of the taste. Make it Minute Maid.
Steaks are ready!
Not you, Butch. That's ours.
Oh, that's all right, Linda. He'll get his meat protein from Alpo beef-flavored dinner.
Meat protein in a dry?
Sure. One serving of Alpo beef-flavored dinner has as much meat protein as this 7-ounce sirloin.
Lauren, he loves it.
Told you. Alpo Dry. One serving has as much meat protein as this 7-ounce sirloin.
It's Planet of the Apes week on Channel 48. Tonight, two 20th century astronauts pass through a time warp and end up in the 30th century to discover the world is ruled by apes. Join us at 8 for Back to the Planet of the Apes with more movie, fewer commercials. Stay tuned now as Carol Lawrence and Buddy Hackett join in a luxury liner cruise aboard the Love Boat next on Channel 48.